what they may be looking forward to or what they need to do in high school to prepare them for college?
I would definitely say the biggest thing as a high school student coming into college, you apply for all the scholarships. It doesn't matter what grade level you're in, there's going to be at least one scholarship out there for you. So if you start applying early, you can start building those scholarships in that college, because college is very, very expensive.
Yes. Well, tell us a little bit about the Michelin. I had a coworker one time call me the Michelin Man, and that was she called that because I still need to lose weight around around the edges. Okay, she was like Michelin Man. So when I sent your profile, I said, "Oh no, I'm interviewing the person that worked at my company, Michelin Man, but I'm the mascot." Tell us a little bit about your time at Michelin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Career Education Learning Center podcast. I'm your host, Mitchell Rivers. I am thrilled and honored to have on our show today Morgan Henderson. Morgan is a sophomore at Winthrop University, located in Rock Hill, South Carolina, where she is majoring in business administration and marketing. In addition, she's also a licensed cosmetologist. How are you doing today, Morgan?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic now since you come on our show. Morgan, I normally start off with the educational part, but let's start off with you being a licensed cosmetologist. How long have you been licensed cosmetologist for?
I've been licensed for a little bit over a year now.
Now, is that something you've done in the past? That you always done different things? Like, is it dealing with hair, nails, or what type of do you specialize in?
I mainly specialize in hair and skincare. When I was in school, I was kind of like the skincare person at my school. But now that I'm in college, I can't really do too much skincare stuff. So now I'm more of the hair person.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, if you were trying to do my hair, it wouldn't be that long. It'd be 5 minutes, girl. 5 minutes. In fact, after the show, I want you to give me some tips for me to get my hair because I'm losing my hair, girl. I need you to give me some tips how to grow this hair. Now, is that why you majored at in business and marketing? Because your background in cosmetology?
Yeah, cosmetology. Whenever we were getting closer to the end in high school, there were more people coming in and saying, oh, this is what I did. And I majored in when I was a cosmetologist. So I tried to look into it a little bit more to see, do I need to do business administration and marketing? Do I need to do business management? Do I need to do entrepreneurship? It's just like so many things.
So you broke it down to business administration and marketing, which comes in any business entrepreneur. And so do you want to be an entrepreneur in the future? Is that your plans at this moment?
Yeah, at this moment, the big goal is to own my own hair salon, do all these fun things to give back to my community. But, I got to break it down into my little tiny itty bitty steps so I can get there.
Yeah, I mean, that's when I was young, and I was young one time, Morgan. When I was young, you had these big dreams, and then you narrow down to where they are more attainable, and then you build back up. So you start off small and build back up. So you went to Winthrop University. Was that your first choice to attend Winthrop University?
Yeah, Winthrop was definitely my first choice. I also looked at USC Upstate and one other school that I'm forgetting the name of. But when I came on Winthrop's campus, it's just like something immediately clicked for me, and I just knew this was going to be my home for the next 4 years.
Now, most students I talk to, they either had that transition from high school to college. It was either academically or socially. What was your challenge in transition, or did you not have a transition at all?
I think my challenge was definitely socially, because in high school, I had the same friend group from freshman year all the way up to senior year, and we just kept adding on. And then now that all of us are dispersed across the country, I have to start over again from the bottom. So that was kind of a struggle for me, but we've gotten over it now. I got a nice little friend group that I love to bother on a daily basis.
So being a sophomore this year, what are you looking forward to than last year? Because last year, I'm pretty sure you came in like all freshmen, including myself, all nervous. So are you more excited about school this year than you were last year?
I'm definitely more excited about my classes, since now I'm getting closer to the classes that are actually in my major instead of just the regular gen eds. And then freshman year, I kind of zoned in on my book, so I didn't really have a bunch of time to go hang out or join clubs or do all that stuff. So now that I kind of understand how to better work my workload, I can start doing more clubs and activities on campus and volunteering.
Yeah, time management is everyone. I mean, that's an understatement for anyone, even as old as I am. It's always time management, something that you really have to learn when you transition from high school to college. And so that time management is something that you will continue to do, especially when you're going to be an entrepreneur, you're going to really learn time management. And that's just a transition that we have, to do that. So did you do any internships in the past?
No, this summer was my first year doing any internships.
Oh, okay. And what internships did you do this past summer?
So this past summer, I was a Michelin summer student / intern in the B2B Sales field. And I also interned with RevUpSC / BMW for their networking internship.
Well, tell us a little bit about the Michelin. I had a coworker one time call me the Michelin Man, and that was she called that because I still need to lose weight around around the edges. Okay, she was like Michelin Man. So when I sent in your profile, I said, "Oh no, I'm interviewing the person that worked at my company, the Michelin Man, around the mascot." So tell us a little bit about your time at Michelin.
So I started my internship at Michelin in May, and it ended just a few weeks ago, early August. And so I was mainly focused with the sales team because when I first came in, I was still saying I was a management major instead of marketing. But once they realized I had already switched, they allowed me to work on more marketing projects. But I was basically doing the small administrative tasks that needed to be done, but nobody had the time to get done because they had all their other meetings and challenges and client calls that they had to work on too. So I was given all those little small tasks that needed to be done and to help with a bigger puzzle piece, but nobody could ever have the time to do.
And so what did you learn from this past internship at Michelin?
They've definitely taught me a lot about staying organized, more organized than I already was, and how to deal with conflicts, more conflict resolution, how to because you got to really push to get into meetings with people. You got to be a little bit more forceful when you come into the corporate world versus me just in college and going to email my professor and automatically getting a response back. It's it taught me to be a little bit more assertive in my work and not to diminish the work I'm doing because it is important, even if it is small.
Yeah, you're right. There's no such thing as a small task in corporate America. Although people may beg the difference outside, everything intertwined with one another. And you need even a small task to do that, And so what you was doing was way more important than you realize. I know one time I had a job and they put me in charge of a spreadsheet. I said, hey, I didn't know how to do a spreadsheet. I done a small one, not a big spreadsheet. I said, oh my goodness. And it was still as a contractor. I was just a contractor, Morgan, and still it was a mighty big task that, it had to be done. And so even those small things that people take that may be insignificant, it's very important to your business. And I think that's what you're going to learn from when you be your own entrepreneur is that although it may seem small to your employees, you have to make sure they understand the importance of that task or that objective. Because to them, it's small, it's nothing. But to you, it's just a lot, right? Even if somebody cleans up. Look, when you go into a hair salon or you go into any business, you want to be clean. The first thing you look, is this clean, right? Especially with hair, is it clean? Are all my equipment working? Do we have all the supplies? Do we have inventory? Now, to a person that you may assign that duty to, that may seem small. But in the bigger realm of things, that's huge because your clients expect when they come in there that everything's clean, that you have all the equipment, the inventory, and everything's working. Well, I can get there, get my hair done, and get back out. And that's what is important there. And so you also said you did another internship also?
Yes, I did the second internship with RevUpSC. They kind of overlapped each other a little bit, but the RevUp one was mainly online, and it had 2 or 3 in-person meetings, so it worked out well with my schedule.
That's great. So tell us, what about RevUp? I don't understand that, like most people here. I'm excited. It sounds like something that's and I read the profile, I looked at it, it seemed very exciting because you looked like you was on TV or doing some stuff like that. What was RevUp about?
So RevUpSC is basic, or at least for this year's cohort, it was helping with networking and resume building and this kind of soft skill building. I can't do them much justice explaining it because they're such a big platform and they have so many things that they do. But like throughout the summer, because I started with them in May too, but they ended in July. They had a few assignments each week. They would be like, reach out to your academic advisors at college and introduce yourself. They had multiple Zoom meetings where potential employers would come in and you could do elevator pitches and just talk to them and learn more about them. I did participate in the July elevator pitch competition. And that's where you saw me at. I did win People's Choice. So I got a nice little $25 gift card.
That's good, girl. Yes.
That was my first time actually giving an elevator pitch in front of people. So it was very nerve-wracking then. But then they just always kept checking in. They were always just trying to make sure you're building those soft skills and you're just trying to reach out. It's like really pushing you out your comfort zone, trying to get more comfortable with like doing online interviews and stuff, since we're in a huge rise in technology and AI. So they're trying to get you more comfortable with your skills in person and online.
Wow. So what did you take from that? So with your 2 internships, how do you think that's going to help you in the future? You know, is that something you think will really qualify you in the future as far as your business is concerned and the importance of networking?
I think it'll definitely give me a little bit of a leg up, especially since I had 2 internships in my summer of my freshman year. So I guess it gives me kind of a step up.
It does. Believe me. It gives you more. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I'm kind of jealous that I didn't do an internship. I never done an internship, girl. My internship with Desert Storm after my senior year when I graduated. That was my internship. And it had nothing to do with business. It had everything to do with when I need to do my job in the military. So that was the internship I have. So I think it's fantastic that you had 2 internships your freshman year. And that's, like I said before, when I read your profile, I said, man, this is a super young lady trying to really get out of it, learn more, because it is about learning. And one thing, reason we have this program is to have high school and college students or any non-traditional students realize the importance of participating in things outside your box, even small corporations that you may work for, small companies. You may think the job is menial, but it's very important. And as my parents would say, you know, the smaller job can be the most important job. If you do the small job well, then you definitely do the big job well. It's like practice makes perfect. Keep practicing what you're doing. So if you have an attitude that I'm going to do the best I can at this small job, I'm also going to do the best I can at this big job, you know. And that's what I try to tell students all the time. Now, did you also do something with BMW? I read that on your profile.
Yeah, the BMW and RevUp kind of combined into one. So RevUp and BMW was their main sponsor, so we learned a lot more about BMW than anybody else, really. And then at the end of the semester, or not the end of the semester, I'm already back in school. Like at the end of the internship, they got to tour around the BMW plant and learn more about like hands-on what they do there. So that was fun. Fortunately, I didn't get to go to that though because I was still at work at my other internship.
So apparently you didn't get to go in the plant and get your own BMW. Oh man, good. That's just going to roll me out of BMW. Here's for Morgan, a BMW. That would have been fantastic, wouldn't it?
That would have been amazing.
Not just being a BMW. Now, do you want a BMW now? I'm pretty sure you do like a BMW there. So I know a lot of your freshman year and sophomore for a lot of people don't get a chance, opportunity to participate in activities because you're trying to get your grades down that freshman year. So what clubs, organizations do you plan to join maybe your sophomore, junior year?
So I plan to join NABA. It's the National Association of Black Accountants. I'm pretty sure that's accountants. And then I also want to join my university's fashion club. They have a volunteering club. I'm trying to see if we can get a sign language club on campus.
Oh, man.
Because I feel like that'd be fun to learn. But right now it's looking like I would have to charter the club. And that's a lot to put on my plate now. And then any really other clubs that kind of pique my interest, they're having an involvement fair next week. So all the clubs will have their tables and their booths put out so you can just walk around and see which clubs, and then all the interest meetings start the week after that.
So how important do you feel it is for students to participate in these clubs and organizations? Do you feel like that would give them and you a more well-rounded experience in college?
I feel like me personally, if I were to go here and just not do anything, I would feel a lot like my energy and my morale will be a lot lower than it is now. Because getting out, you don't have to go to and join every club and do every activity, but just getting out and being able to connect with the community on your campus definitely help at least helped to boost my energy and my productivity, just because you're making more friends on campus that have similar interests to you. So it's a good way to build your own community in there. And if you need something, you can count on the people in your club to come help you.
Now, did you do that in high school? Did that help you also have a better high school experience? So did you join organizations in high school? What organizations did you join in high school that now transfer over?
I did 2 academic organizations to where I had to get the volunteer hour each quarter and upload those. But I also did little fun clubs, like I did theater, I did cosmetology and cosmetology mentoring. So all that stuff, it kind of like pushed over into my freshman year. So I was like, that definitely helped me with the easier academic transition from high school to college, because everyone's like, oh, it's going to be horrible. You're going to fail your freshman first semester. You're going to be on academic probation. But it's like because I was already very disciplined in high school, it was easier for me to transition myself into my freshman year of college and not get put on academic probation.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I didn't know that. I know, Morgan, I went to community college my first 3 years, really, because I had to work and go to school. And so I had to learn then. I thought I was pretty good as far as discipline and everything. But between the military, because I went to Army Reserves, and my freshman year of college, I found out I was probably a spoiled brat. I thought I was pretty good. I played sports in high school. I was in club organizations, Spanish club, like history club, chess club. I thought I was well-rounded, played 3 sports, basketball, football, and track. So I thought I was well-rounded, prepared for what life would be after high school. But that was not the case. That was not the case. And so, that was a big difference there from that transition. And if I ask college students like yourself, what was the toughest transition for you? For me, it was academically more than socially. I can social butterfly as far as sports and organizations and clubs and games and stuff. But as far as academically, I really had to put my head down and study real well. So do you have any advice or suggestions for high school students coming to college as far as what they may be looking forward to or what they need to do in high school to prepare them for college?
I would definitely say the biggest thing as a high school student coming into college, you apply for all the scholarships. It doesn't matter what grade level you're in. There's going to be at least one scholarship out there for you. So if you start applying early, you can start building those scholarships in that college, because college is very, very expensive.
Yes, it is.
You can start helping yourself work down your tuition bill. I would also say get some job experience just so you can have a little bit and understanding, because you do have to work in college. You need to be able to balance your schoolwork and then your job, because if you let one take over the other one's definitely is gonna be a negative impact on either one that you overlook. Another thing I would say is definitely be prepared to study. Don't think just because you can skim through high school, you'll be able to skim through college. I mean, some people may be able to do that, but I know for the vast majority, don't just overlook what you're learning now, because some of the topics definitely build up. Because right now I'm in an econ and accounting class, and I learned the same stuff in my senior year, but I never really connected it to memory. So now it's like I'm learning it over again. So it's like definitely pay attention to what you're learning. It will seem like it doesn't have like a big impact, but it's going to come back one day when you least expect it, and it's going to come get you again.
And so did you receive any scholarships or grants to attend Winthrop University your first year?
My freshman year, I got a scholarship from Winthrop itself, the Arnett scholarship, I want to say. But that was because of my scores and my GPA coming into Winthrop. And then I received my outside grants and loans because I applied for at least 100 scholarships, and I maybe got 20 back. But it was enough for me to be able to not have to stress so much about paying my tuition. So those same scholarships I applied for this year, I've just been building and building and building and building.
Well, I tell you what, thus far, Morgan, you've had a very exciting college experience at Winthrop University. I'm sure Winthrop is glad that you chose them as to do your college and your experience and do your education there. Thank you so much for coming on, St. Morgan. I really do appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.
And I'd like to thank our viewers for joining me, Mitchell Rivers, on another fantastic episode on the Career Education Lens of the podcast, where we make your career dreams a reality. God bless.